What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And holy cow, the CEO of Lucid just dropped another interview on Fox Business today. This is my first time listening to it, so you're going to get my raw reaction. We'll go ahead and summarize it at the end and talk about any other relevant information. Let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Mark Winterhoff. Mark, really fascinating considering it was just last month that Tesla rolled out its cyber cabs. Tell me exactly how this deal came together and how you expect your plan will be different.
Yeah, thank you, Liz, and thanks for having me back so quickly. I think last time we talked was on March.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic collaboration between all of our partners, between ourselves, the team at Lucid, Uber, and Nuro. We have worked on this already for the last couple of months, so it's not something that just happened because of the Tesla announcement. We've been on it already for 6 months, and yeah, we're super excited that this now happened. And I mean, for us at Lucid, it is very important because it's not only validating our EV technology, where we have worked so hard on in order to become the leader in EV technology, but also it opens a new addressable market for us, the growing segment of robotaxis.
So here's the thing. The technology part of it, aside from the car, is with a company called Nuro. And I was looking into Nuro. Nuro already has driverless vehicles on the road doing sort of last mile type of delivery stuff. So they already know exactly what they're doing. They've got a proving ground in Las Vegas. They've been testing this already with gravities, as I understand it. Tell me about how the testing is going. Have you been in one? Are you overseeing this? How does it look? How does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's yes, we're driving there in Las Vegas, and it's actually already going very well. So I'm very surprised how far we already got. And you're right, Nuro has a technology that is already in practice on real streets, and that's also one of the reasons why we did this collaboration together with them and with Uber, because we want to be together with Uber on the market relatively quickly. By the end of next year is the plan. And yeah, and it feels amazing. So the technology feels very, very secure, and that's what's super important for us. That's also why the technology we are using there is not only cameras, like for instance what Tesla is doing, but we have also radars and lidars in the system to make it more bulletproof.
More bulletproof, more safe. So you're testing in Las Vegas. Nuro already has its proving ground in Las Vegas. Can I just say that you're going to launch in Las Vegas next year?
Nope, that would not be correct, and that's something actually which has not been finally decided. It is, public that we are launching with a U.S. city, but we still have to land on that, and that's mainly
very interesting
by Uber. But yeah, so it will be in a U.S. city.
Okay, a U.S. city. Well, that brings me to China, because China is going full force into the robotaxi sector. They've got BYD and Baidu that have really gotten involved in it. Do you think about the Chinese and look at them and say, I want to test in one of those and see what they do? How is it going over there from your research and what you've experienced and seen?
Well, I have not been yet in a Chinese robotaxi, but I've been at the Shanghai Auto Show not so long ago, and I was impressed about how much they came of age in the last couple of years since the last time I was there when it comes to the product quality and the fit and finish. I was also able to drive a lot of those vehicles, and I have to say, we at Lucid, we definitely still have an edge when it comes to the ride comfort and the driving dynamics. So there, I think we're still on a different planet there, but there's definitely a lot of things going on, and we here in the US, we need to really keep innovating because they're getting better every year.
And you announced deliveries and production earlier, your total earlier this month. During the period, you produced 3,863 vehicles, delivered 3,309, 6,000 plus for the first half of the year. Do you expect that the second half of the year will improve upon those numbers?
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I want to mention that this is now was the sixth consecutive record delivery number that we had a quarter. But you're totally right. I mean, we are expecting both production and the deliveries to go markedly up in the second half of the year, particularly when it comes to the Gravity. I said that already, that we had a little bit of speed bumps, with suppliers, and then, magnet shortage topics didn't really help, where our team had to work miracles to really overcome that. The second half of the year will be drastically higher. So we are very, very, looking forward about the second half of the year.
Obviously, last week, and we saw the 1 week chart, the stock spiked dramatically on the news that you are partnering with Uber and Nuro, and that's great news. But the stock, as you know, has struggled. You recently announced a proposal for a reverse 1-for-10 stock split. Do you see this move as broadening reach for? How do you see this as broadening reach to investors and exciting investors?
Yeah, this is something which may not be widely known, but several institutional investors, they actually have limits or thresholds you have to be over from a stock price that they can even invest in you.
Right.
And that was one reason we want to open, the investor base into areas, that then can invest into us and maybe reduce the amount of retail investors. I mean, you see today we are down. I actually didn't look in the last 10 minutes, but I assume we're still down. And that is because of retail investors, because most likely, taking the profit of last week's spike. And we are looking for long-term investors. That's basically why we did this. It's more like a technical exercise. I mean, the stock doesn't get more or less worth through this. And but that's exactly because we want to open our reach for new investor bases.
You're doing that. You are launching the Robotaxi plan. I test drove the Lucid Air, 500-mile charge. Oh. That's impressive. Game, set, match there. You're interim CEO, Mark. When are you going to get the full-time gig?
You need to ask the board that. So I'm actually really focusing on doing, day-to-day business and deliver on the commitments that we made. We still have a lot to do this year. I have to say, I actually don't have time to think about this. And I mean, there is a search going on, and whatever the outcome is, I will do my best for the company.
Well, I do just want to say, as we finish up here, that it was back in March that you were here and you told us that 50% of your new Lucid buyers were former Tesla owners. Has that number changed? Has it gone up? Has it gone down? There are a lot of people who were unhappy with Elon's focus elsewhere on the US government versus his company and some of his political leanings and some of his statements. What are you hearing from new Lucid owners?
Well, it hasn't really changed dramatically. So it's probably in the same area still. But what we hear is that a lot of the customers says, oh, by the way, the Tesla hasn't really changed in the last 10 years. We're looking for something new, an option, and with something that now even has better technology when it comes to the EV technology. That's what's attractive for them when they join the Lucid family. So it's a little bit linked to a little bit of tiredness with driving the same type of car all the time, and at the same time, there might be some political leanings reasons, but I wouldn't say that is the biggest driver. It's really about people more and more they get to learn about our brand, and in particular when they are able to sit and drive our products like you just did, and then they get really excited and convinced and make the move.
And by the way, the driver massage, that's really cool. Good to see you, Mark.
All right, let's do a quick recap about what we just learned. And there's a few things that the CEO said, or the interim CEO said in this interview, that he hasn't talked about many places else. So let's go ahead and dive into all the juicy details. Let's go ahead and summarize everything he talked about, as well as my opinions on what he's talking about. So he says it's the Fox Business host said that it's been 1 month since Tesla has rolled out the Robotaxi. He's like, why are you guys different? He's like, well, this isn't something like we're doing out of nowhere. We've been working on this for the past 6 months. He said, this is a brand new addressable market for us. We've heard this before from the CEO. He said, the Fox Business host said, hey, Nuro's been doing really good last mile delivery. So it seems like a really good partnership. How is the testing going? And Mark says, hey, it's going really well. We're very surprised at how far they've already gotten on the Gravity. And we hope to be on the market by the end of next year, which is actually great. And he said that they're just they wanted a secure tech platform. They didn't want somebody that hasn't done the driverless last mile or any kind of driverless. They didn't want this to be somebody's first rodeo. So he wanted somebody to kind of hop in and have something ready to integrate in 12 months or less. I guess it'll be around 18, but this seems like a pretty good deal for Lucid so far. And he said this is kind of like a jab at Elon Musk. He said this isn't just cameras, but we're also doing cameras plus radar plus LiDAR, which is really interesting because you have Waymo that's doing, I believe, a combo of all three. You have Tesla doing just camera, just vision. And now you have Lucid doing all three. So we're going to see how well this pans out compared to Tesla. The host said something really funny. She tried to get him to draw a conclusion. And she's like, hey, the proving grounds are in Las Vegas. It seems like your fleet may roll out in Las Vegas. Is this true? Can you just confirm this for us? And he said, nope, not correct. And it has not been decided yet. She then brought up China. And well, he going back half a step, he did say it is a US city for sure. It's just we haven't decided where yet. So if it's not Las Vegas, I'll be very interesting. If it's not Las Vegas, it'd probably be like Phoenix, or I don't think it'd be Austin because that's a pretty, I'd be surprised to see Austin, but maybe SF, but probably either Las Vegas or Phoenix is my guess because they have a factory in Phoenix and we know Phoenix is friendly to Waymo. So it probably wouldn't be too difficult for Lucid to kind of get whatever permits or licenses they needed there. She talked about China and he says he has not been in a Chinese robotaxi, but he says in terms of ride comfort, that they are on a completely different planet, although China is getting better and better every year. The Fox Business host then said, hey, let's talk about your delivery numbers. You've only delivered 3,000 this quarter, like a little bit more than 3,000. Do you think the second half of the year you'll improve upon those? And he said, yes, absolutely, we will improve. We're going to improve production as well as delivery. And he said that this is his 6th quarter of delivery records. He has not been CEO for quite that long, but it would have been cool to see at a snap of fingers him change the delivery records like that. But you can't give him all the credit here. But it's not that hard to kind of beat the lower numbers. Once they get to the higher numbers, it'll be impressive. He said the second half of deliveries will be drastically higher because they got to hit, I believe, the 20,000 threshold is their goal, and they're at 6,000. So they got to bump those numbers up. Then she talked about the stock price movement. He said that it's a reverse stock split. And he said that there has to be thresholds high enough for institutional investors. He said this was really surprising. He said he had to reduce the amount of retail investors. And he says that a lot of the softness that we're seeing today could be in terms of retail getting out after the last dip, which I thought was really interesting. He said they want long-term investors. This is nothing more than a technical exercise. He says that they want to reach a new investor basis. And then the last question that she asked him, which I thought was really funny, which is I was curious about myself. She said, hey, you're the interim CEO. When are you going to get the nod to get the full-time CEO role? And he said, LOL, just ask the board. He didn't say LOL. He laughed. He said, ask the board. He said, I'm just in the day-to-day business. I don't have time to think about this. But what this guy's doing is brilliant because I don't think Peter Rawlinson did near this many interviews. He's getting his face out there. He wants people to recognize him as the CEO because these are his job interviews for the CEO role. And this is what the board wants to see is they want to see an active CEO getting out there in the public selling the stock. I heard somebody tell me one time that securities aren't bought, they're sold. So the CEO going on Fox Business or going on Bloomberg twice in 1 week, he's doing his job in selling the stock and selling the company and selling the vision. That's what that's supposed to mean. So in my opinion, he's doing a really good job at that. Peter Rawlinson was a super technical guy. This guy seems to be working on the business, which is great. I forgot. There was one more question she asked. She said, hey, last time you were on the channel in March, around 50% of your buyers were former Tesla owners. Are you guys still seeing similar numbers? And he said, yes, but the numbers haven't changed that much. They're still right around the 50% mark, but you can tell he took the conversation a slightly different direction. He said, it's not just because of the political volatility, which sure there may be some with Elon. Obviously, some of that has settled down now. But he said people are growing tired over Tesla. They want better EV tech. Tesla hasn't changed in 10 years, which is so funny because 5 years ago, Tesla was like never before seen, cutting edge. Like you wanted to be in a Tesla, but now it's like Teslas are almost becoming normal, which is kind of scary. It's like if you don't adapt in 10 years, like if your tech isn't, and I mean, Tesla's tech is improving. Like their FSD is absolutely incredible. And so it's really funny that people are growing. I believe him when he says that some people are wanting a change and that people are growing tired of the Tesla and they're wanting something new, a better EV tech. And she flaunted the 500-mile range, which is great. I mean, if people have range anxiety, they're probably going to go with a Lucid. But if people want FSD, they might go with a Tesla. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting, but he didn't want to focus on the political volatility. He wanted to focus on the tired of Tesla slogan, the tired of Tesla brand. So she also said that she really liked the massage chairs. So overall, I thought this was a really interesting message. Let's go take a look at the stock price for today and see what it did. And I'll go ahead and talk about one of the trades I made today. Let me go ahead and share. So you had Lucid. They closed at $2.81 a share. Obviously, last week before the announcement, they were trading at $2.25 a share. They went up to $3, and now we're back to like $2.80. I did have an option contract that I purchased. Let me go ahead and show you guys just for transparency. I just want to record this segment really quickly before we dive into the next section of this video. Anything I share should not be construed as personal investment advice, purely for education and entertainment purposes only. This is not any solicitation to buy or sell any securities whatsoever. Please go talk to your own financial advisor. This is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. So yeah, as you can see here, I bought the Lucid call for 12 cents a contract, and then I went ahead and I sold that same Lucid contract for 20 cents a contract. So I had a good little, I sold it for 21, but I think I net 20 cents. No, that one canceled. Sorry. Yeah, I sold it for 20 cents here. So yeah, wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it. It was a fun trade. I still do have some shares of Lucid in a different brokerage account, but yeah, maybe we can swing in and out of Lucid. I'll keep an eye on the options chain. But yeah, I really enjoyed that trade. It was fun, but I also have really enjoyed kind of being back and paying attention to the company. And it just kind of happened to all come at the right time. I really like the CEO. Actually, I was not a fan of Peter Rawlinson. I made that pretty clear. But I really am a fan of this guy. He seems to be going out and selling the company, selling the vision like he should be. So he's doing a great job. And I think that this partnership with Neuro is brilliant. And I think that a lot of the things that Lucid's doing, hopefully we can see a ramp up in their productions. I think the Gravity will be a phenomenal car. So let me know what you guys think about this perspective. Do you like when I talk about my trades? Let me know down in the comments. But if you enjoyed, consider subscribing. And I'll be live tomorrow morning for the podcast. So if you want to go ahead and join me there, hit subscribe down below. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.